right, happy farmers. Kansas Farm Guy. New video today. This is my second video that I've ever done. Well, third, fourth, second official video. So today I'm going to start a farm from scratch. In one of the two, we may do both, but we'll start in one of the hidden gem spots that I talked about in my last video, Elmcreek Hidden Gems. So I created a new game. Used the what I call the normal mode, where you have a little bit of cash, but everything's pretty much normal. So it spawned you in the starter farm. No house. These buildings are interactive. That building over there, I don't know what the hell it does. You can't do anything with it. It's just decoration. But these buildings are usable on the starter farm. So you got like a workshop with the old-fashioned work pit. I always get stuck in this damn thing. But it goes around and around. But anyway, you get the idea. Yeah, I'm stuck. Comes with little field there, and just past where my cursor is over there, another field. And then it comes with this barn, which is a buildable barn out of the choices. Now look at this. I did not know it had a basement. Well, look at this. Color me purple. Holy crap. That is crazy. I did not know that this little workshop was down here. Huh. I'll be darned. I had never really paid any attention to that. Huh. I'll be dang. So this explains, yeah, this door doesn't open. I didn't think it did, but so it's got a little hidden space down here. I didn't even know it was here. Yeah, this door doesn't open, but hayloft. It's got some just general decoration junk in here. Yeah. Another big loft. Just junk up here. None of it you can do anything with. But anyway, it's a good thing this isn't a first-person shooter game. I'd have broke my legs on that jump. All right, but anyway, so this is the general starting position. You don't own this yet. It's just where you start. So going into our farmland map, and you can always look on the steering wheel if you don't know exactly where you're at. Which is, now I've got a couple other things in here. I've got the work plan mod, precision farming mod, and field calculator. I almost think field calculator comes with precision farming. Precision farming is a neat little tool. We'll get into that when we start looking at some fields. But anyway, the steering wheel shows you where you are, and gives you some choices. This is where, remember when I talked about in my last video, if you saw my last video, I talked about these custom fields that I did when I merged some fields. That's what this is. So you just hit and you just use your right mouse button, and it's a custom field. So, you know, if I was going to merge, say, these two fields here together, oh, crap, hold on. No, I don't want to save it. Sorry. If I was going to merge these two fields together and I took my disk with Field Creator and I deleted that road, I could then, well, maybe, whoops, yeah, got to do that. Draw this field in. And if I say that, it'll give me, I don't know what I'm going, 5.6, it'll be like custom CP7 or something of that nature. And then what this does, it allows you when you do, how to explain this without going into video, when you create a custom job for your hired hands, for lack of a better word, the little AI workers that you can hire to work a field. And so, like in a previous map, a previous game save, I combined these two fields, and you can see where the grass was. I disked that up, and then replanted that into the two fields. Now, when you do this, you got to do it after you harvest whatever's in the field, so that you can get the one crop in the one field when you plant. But anyway, that's custom fields. So no, I don't want to save it. All right, so yeah, I lost my track of thought what I was even doing in here. Oh, starting position. There I am right there. So steering wheel, found my little starting position. If I had a vehicle, I could get into that vehicle. There's a train. You can use this map to get into your vehicle. I can show you that once we actually buy a vehicle. But this is the starting position, starting farm. It's got these 3 fields with it. So if I wanted to actually buy it, damn it, it's 156,000 roughly, but it comes to those 3 fields. It's a nice little starting place because you can add these smaller fields, 56, 49, 4. But it's got this big damn creek right in the middle of it. It's kind of a pain in the butt. When it's dry and not raining, you can drive across the creek. There is a little bridge there, but I played on it when I first started because I thought that's where you had to start. And yeah, I just didn't like it. Too confining. The fields were small. So yeah, there we are. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to get out of here. I'm going to buy a truck. I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to buy my normal Dodge Ram 3500. Sometimes I get a little lag and it clicks on whatever the first one is, it comes up. Now, a lot of these are mods, like this is part of a car mod. I can actually buy this and drive it. Same way with this, some of these older, if you like some of these older vehicles. And these are all done by different modders. The pontoon boat, if you have a map that has a lake. The hot rod, I haven't got it yet, but it's coming soon. It's coming to my farm soon. I'm telling you. The big monster truck, the Volvo, that drives really nice, by the way. I did buy that once. Service truck. It's a service truck in looks only. None of the just go through some of these. None of these compartments or anything really work. The toolbox is just for looks. The chains are just for looks. But if you were with me in my last video, I talked about the little portable toolbox. And if you go to Tools Miscellaneous, there are different little toolboxes. But the one I get is the one that actually looks like a toolbox. And it's $80, but you can literally walk up to your vehicle, drop it on the ground, hit the R key, and it will allow you to put on, say, dual tires on the back or on the front or all Ford vehicles, whichever. So sometime when I get my farm really going, what I will do is I will buy that service truck, wherever it went, this little Ram service truck, and I'll drop that toolbox in the back. And this does work with tension belts mod, where you can strap everything down. So I stick the toolbox in there, stick the lock the straps down, and then I have my little toolbox if I need it. And I'll pull like maybe a fuel trailer or something behind this. If I need to go out to the field or something, or I need to pull a light trailer. You know, it's not really needed, but when you got the money, it's kind of fun to have a service truck. Um, you know, this is another version. Um, Basically the same truck, something different with it. But here's my truck that I always get. I get the 2019 3500. The reason being, is if you listen to my last video, I like the mirrors in this. I can see out of them, and I can see out the windshield pretty good. So 424 horsepower and base. I do that swapped. Actually, yeah, it starts out with a 425. If you don't want the big money, you can drop it down the horsepower to 395. But hey, why not? It doesn't cost you any money. The wheel setup. You can change the wheels. These fuel hostage staggered or some wider tires. I don't like trucks with the big tires sticking out of them. So I usually kind of go with the Steelies. They don't seem to stick out as much, and they look like good farm tires. The bumpers and grill, like right now it's chrome everything, but you can do color match and it will match to the truck. Grill and bumpers, you know, you got some choices here. So I like the chrome. I do mud flaps, and I do mud flaps rear. You can do mud flaps large. I'll turn this around so you can see them. Front and rear. Puts mud flaps on the front. So this is what I usually do: front mud flaps, front and rear. I don't put a snow plow mount on there. And usually on my big Dodge Ram, I pick one of these blacks because I like black, and I do the black gloss because it just looks really cool. I like the way it looks, and the lights kind of stick out on the mirror, and the LED lights, and the Ram logo, the Cummins logo there. They did a good job with this truck, and you can see it comes with a gooseneck and a regular trail hitch, and side steps come with it. So yeah, so we're gonna buy this. All right, so now that is over at the store way over there, or actually way down over there past the fire station. But I can hit the tab key and it will take me to my vehicle. Now I'm gonna shut that off for a second. So there's a mod that I think it's called the parking brake mod. I'd have to go look it up. I can't remember all these mods. I go through Mod Hub, which is a website where a lot of mods are. GitHub. I can't remember. I have to go look at them. But I just go through and I like, oh, that looks cool. You know, I drop it in my mods folder. And if you don't know how to do that, there's videos out there already on how to do that you can watch. Go to Farmer Cop and look at some of his videos. But yeah, so what you can do is you can hit the parking brake, and I'm going to turn the sound down, but I don't remember what it is. I think it's Alt-T. I don't know. Let's go look and see what I don't know where it's at. All right. So while we're in here, guys, I apologize. I'm brain damaged. I had a bad TBI, motorcycle wreck back in 1996, and I've had 4 concussions. So I tend to just kind of wander. So while we're setting up the game, before we go to our site, things you need to do when you start your game. So you got to go in here, like this is the vehicle settings for that truck, but You go in here to game settings, which is the vehicle with the gear on it. That's the first one. In this one, you know, you where you can pause your game so that seasons won't go while you're duking around in here. Um, I've tried to rename, but I've never been able to get it to take. I don't know why, but you know, we'll try. We'll give it a shot anyway. Uh, this is going to be YouTube, Elmcreek YouTube app. YouTube game. Well, so the other reason we're starting scratch on this map, on this new game, is because the last couple of videos I did were on my game that I was actually playing. So when I was demonstrating how to all the different houses that you can buy to live in, it totally screwed my field up and took me almost 30-40 minutes to get my field back in order. So this is going to be our video map where we can just kind of do whatever we want to do, and I don't have to worry about screwing up my actual game. All right, so autosave. I like going 10 minutes because while Farm Sim 22 is a great game, when you got a lot of mods like I do, sometimes the game just kind of goes, what the hell are we supposed to be doing? And it just locks. And so if you haven't had an autosave or you haven't gone in and manually saved, am I going down here? I went too far. There it is. If you haven't manually saved, you lose whatever you worked on. If you quit the game, if you use the quit button, that will take you back to the main game menu and then quit your desktop, of course. All right, so all these I just leave defaulted. All right, these first three. Tool settings, you know, this is kind of for the AI workers. I'd kind of do early. Offset, sometimes I'll go 1 foot. That way they don't miss anything, because sometimes these guys, when you're doing the auto, when you got an auto worker working for you, they aren't the neatest guys in the world, and a lot of times I have to go back and go around the edge of the field and catch the stuff that they missed. Work with is kind of just, that is going to be your silo worker setting. If you do the auto silo worker, that's in a trench silo, bunker silo. I don't use that. Vehicle debug, leave that deactivated. All right, so then there are some more settings down here as I go through all these. We can talk about these. Like here's production menu. I don't have any production sites, but when we get to our new location, we will put in some greenhouses and I'll show you the production chains. All right, so here's back where we were. All right, so autosave 10 minutes. Now time scale. This is important. I always set mine to real time. And then if I want to test something like, for example, my greenhouses, nothing is showing up. They're not showing up as having water. Maybe it just hasn't distributed yet. I'll click over here to 360. Now, now that I've clicked to 360, let's go back. Oh, I've paused my game. Continue. So if you look up here in the up here, you can see how fast the time is going. Hold on. Less noisy when I'm inside the truck. All right, so you can see how fast that time is going. All right. Now, right now, I've got it set to default. So when this hits midnight, it's going to be April because it's one day months. And of course, how much money you got, temperature, what the current weather is. So we want to get out of 360. We want to go back to real time. All right, economic difficulty, you know, that's kind of self-explanatory. AI traffic, if you turn this off, you won't get any of those jokers driving around on the roads. And let me tell you, these guys, the AI drivers, do not stop for stop signs. It's crazy. They're worse than LA drivers. No offense to anybody who lives in LA. My brother lives out there. Hey, Jeff, how you doing? So, seasonal growth. Now, it goes fast. So seasonal growth. If you turn this off, the seasons do not matter. You can plant anytime, you can harvest anytime, you can do just about anything anytime you want. Seasonal growth is, I leave it on because it's realistic. All right, so here's the days of the month. Days of the month, 1 day. I tried 10 days and I was like, and the thing is that when you change this setting, it doesn't take effect till the next season. All right. So I've got the mod start in spring going. So I've started in March. So it'll literally go March, April, May, June before whatever setting I put in here will take effect. I like going 4 days. Now the reason I do 4 days, now this is just me, is gives me a couple days to do whatever is going on in that particular month. If it's June, wheat harvest, get the wheat harvested, disc up those fields, get them ready for the next season, be able to go through with the stone picker and clean them out, put some fertilizer down, just prep those fields for planting, because planting for wheat will come up, if you're going to replant for wheat, will come up in the fall. And where you can also go to the calendar here. This tells you the crop calendar. If you're playing with seasons, tells you when everything is going. So like we planted in September, wheat in September, October. It's now March, so it was hibernating during the winter. Now March is starting to grow. So down here is your color codes. We harvest wheat in July. All right, then we plant in September again. So by having the 4 days, and then of course every other crop that's in the game. Now there's 2 types of grass. This is just normal grass, and this is a different type of grass. There's a mod that is on here, and I haven't yet to figure that out. So if you play and you're watching my video and you know what the hell you're actually doing, drop a comment in there and let me know. That's fine. I haven't played with olives or popular. Popular, it's a tree, but it's not a tree. It's more like a bush that you can plant and it will regrow, but you can harvest it for wood chips. So there's a special planter that you plant. I have not played with it yet, but you can plant and reharvest and get wood chips out of that and take those to the bioplant. Or if you build your own bioplant, because there's a modular biogas plant that's a mod, BGA. Well, we can go look at it later, but you can plant popular and use that to fuel your biogas plant. And these biogas plants, they are a significant initial investment, but they give you passive income. So it's kind of, if you're out on a big map somewhere and you're far from any kind of biogas plant, it might be worth an investment to buy a small one or build a small one with a modular. That gives you a place, if you have pigs, cattle, any kind of animal, to put the manure and the slurry. Because honestly, and I can't remember, maybe Farmer Cop again, did a comparison on effects of manure or slurry versus nitrogen, fertilizer, or dry fertilizer, or even anhydrous, and the other ones win hands down. You have to put multiple applications of slurry and manure down, and frankly, unless you got a huge cattle operation, you're just not going to produce enough manure and slurry being cow pee, or whatever pee. You're just not going to produce enough of it to get your fields where you need the nitrogen. And that's, since we're talking about it, that's where in part of the precision farming mod, and I have not bought any fields, so I can't get any data, but we'll come back to this when I actually buy a field, and I can show you how you can see what your environmental score is for your land. Now, why this is important is because if you're low, your environmental score is low, when you sell stuff, you will get an environmental penalty. and that's a monetary penalty. So, for example, I had a really low score on my game that I'm playing, and I sold a bunch of wood chips, and I was getting $300 environmental penalty because my environmental score was so low. And that was on a previous save game. And so when I started this new game the other day, my environmental score was actually pretty high because I had just fertilized everything, and it raised my nitrogen value, my pH value. I had no weeds, and I had just tilled. So uh, all these affect your total score. So what that did for me is when I sold my wood chips, I got a bonus of like $200 to $300. Doesn't sound like much, but when you deliver a load, multiple loads of either manure or fertilizer or whatever to the biogas plant, or you're selling your product to the restaurant right here next to the gas station, fast food restaurant, or the cereal plant, or the sawmill up here, uh, Johnson's Market. When you start selling all that stuff, um, you know, two or three, $400 every time. It adds up over time. All right. So anyway, going back to our menu. Here we go. So I set that to 4 days. Fixed visual I leave off. Snow I leave on. Um, and I don't want to go through all these because it's getting we're going off the beaten path. But you can go through and they're all self-explanatory. The one thing I do, and I'll tell you this one. I turn off periodic rolling. The reason being is it's one more thing I got to do to my fields. If you've got this on, you have to buy a roller and go roll your fields. And that keeps that's to help get your yield high. So I turn that off because I just don't like rolling. I leave field stone on because I like collecting those stones and making a big pile and then taking it to the limestone crusher. You can turn the weeds off, and so on and so forth. All right, so here's something I haven't done yet, and that I do. When you start the game, automatic engine start is on. Now that means whenever you enter or exit a vehicle, it turns on and turns off. I turn this off. Now, the reason I turn this off is there are times where I've got a vehicle running and I'm just checking on something. Maybe I'm going off to look at a field and see what the growth is or something, or I don't know. Something caught my eye. I dismount from the tractor or the combine. If you got this on, everything shuts down. Now, when you're combining with a harvester or any of the harvesters, you have the header that you have to turn on, and you have to have the harvester that you turn on. So when you exit and enter, it shuts everything off. Then you got to turn the header back on. Then you got to turn the harvester back on. By leaving this on or turning this off, I can dismount and everything's still running. And it doesn't shut off, and I can just go do whatever I was going to do real quick and jump back on. Now, granted, it does keep using fuel, so if you forget about it, your vehicle, you're going to burn through all your diesel fuel in your tank. Stop and go braking, you have to keep the brake held. I just leave it on. Trailer fill limit, they can only be filled until the max allowed weight is reached. I turn that on because it seems to be a little more realistic. Fuel usage, I leave it normal. Now, I will tell you this. This is one thing you need to do. You need to go through and turn all these AI workers off. Because when they refuel, it's an extra cost. Same with the seeds. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's like 5 or 10% or something extra, 3%. There's a percentage, but it costs more when they do it. So just turn these off. If they run out of gas, they'll just stop the tractor wherever it is, and they'll go home. So yeah. And then of course, the tip means dumping. Tedding. So this is new to me. Growing up on a farm, we cut hay, and it was hay. It was hay. Okay, you cut brome grass, you baled it, that's hay. In farm sim, to make hay, you have to ted it. You have to mow it, swath it, whatever you do, but then you got to go through and ted it. And then you can go through and windrow it if you just got a regular mower. If you got a big mower that actually puts it in windrows, when you ted it, it doesn't change the windrows. Um, but yeah, so and what this does is on unknown. This is all on unowned land. So if you don't have these on, um, like when you're doing, I think I haven't played with it, but I think what it does is when you do contracts, it won't allow you to do the contract because you don't own the land. So default is on, leave them on. Um, this is the revamp mod. Some of these mods added things to the menus. I leave these as they are. Okay. Um, then this is another thing that's cool about Farm Sim is there is a maintenance cost, and it's a daily thing. Every day you get a cost of your vehicles, cost of your sheds, maintenance interval. At a certain point in time, your tractor will just stop. It's too badly damaged to go. And paint will wear. So like I have a brand new disc, and they call them. They don't call them discs. I grew up calling a disc, but they or a tiller. Um, excuse me. But the paint will wear on the discs and whatnot, the paint interval. And then the advanced animal system. This is the other thing I do. I go ahead and turn that on, and when an animal drops to zero, health drops to zero, it will remove it because basically it's died. Um, some of these others are mods too. Scrolling down, I said I wasn't going to go through this, but I am. All right. So anyway, some of the other ones. All right. Then you got general settings, and this is where you change if you haven't changed. Once you change this, it doesn't matter what game you play, it will always default to what you change it the first time. So, it's either dollars, pounds, or euros, depending on where you're at, miles, kilometers, acres or hectare acres. So it always defaults to that. Radio off. If you turn this on, the radio will play no matter what you're at. I don't like that because, hey, if I wanted to listen to music while I'm playing a game, I'll turn on a live stream or Odyssey or whatever. Um, so I leave it off. So it's only when I get into the vehicle will it turn on, and only if I turn it on, which is the number 5 key. 6 key changes the channel on the radio. So just a little handy thing. All right, these are input controls. Just general stuff. Easy to see. Now you can, if you like, you can set this to manual. That means you got to change the gears, set a button, or if you're lucky enough to have a joystick or a steering wheel that has uh, pedals on it to change gears, you can change it to manual. But I just leave it to automatic. Same way with the mode. Vehicle speed, speedometer. Um, switch to trains. That allows you to switch to a train if you're nearby when it comes to a stop at one of the train stopping places. And you can ride the train until you hit the end of the map. Then the engineer basically throws you off the train, and you'll end up standing there miles from home. Sound settings. I'm going to turn this down to 50% for my vehicle volume. That way, when I'm doing something, it's not so noisy. I usually run this at 70%. Radio volume, I put it at 100. GUI is, the sound this is all making. Create wood chips. If you turn this off, you won't get any wood chips. They are a sellable item, so I make sure that stays on. Walking speed 100%. Running speed, I'm a fast dude, so I run a little faster than normal. Super strength, there's the ability to hit the Alt key and be able to lift things that a normal person wouldn't. Cut anywhere means you can take a chainsaw and you can cut any tree. I leave this on because Hey, when I'm starting out, that's how I make money. Dusty Lands Extension is another mod. You can adjust the scale of how dusty things are, and of course, this is all the different things that create dust and the percentage of them and how dusty it is when you're doing those different things. Dynamic header speed, that's when you're in the vehicle, it's how fast the reel goes. Interactive control is another mod. If the vehicles, the modders that made the vehicles or modified a base game vehicle, uh, have put the script in, then you will be able to see those buttons. If you saw my last video, you know, move the steering wheel, turn on the blinkers, turn on the lights by clicking inside the cab. Precision farming, we talked about that a little bit. We'll talk about that some more, but just some stuff for that. Then you have, this is your additional settings. Sorry, I'm getting over a cold, so I'm coughing. Auto start. I turn this on. What this does is when you're loading the game, it will automatically put you in the game. If you got that off, it will sit there at the loading screen at 95% and you've got to hit the start button. So yeah, you can filter items in the shop, default items. That's only the base game items. Downloadable content, I go all items so I see everything. I haven't played with custom lighting yet, just because I haven't really wanted to think with it. I haven't really played with any of these other ones. Wild animals. I have yet to see a map. I've played Alma. I played a Michigan map, Silver Run. I even got on a Frontier map briefly just to check it out. If wild animals on, you'll see deer everywhere. They're all over the place. So yeah, those are all your settings. Then you click your keyboard controls. You can literally rekey your keyboard or your joystick or your mouse. If you plug in a joystick, it will show up here. This is also where you would program your buttons for if you had a steering wheel. And then a help menu kind of talks about different things. Now, it drove me nuts because I never could remember what all these icons were when I was looking at vehicles. And then I went, wow, there's a help menu. And it shows all the stupid icons. So like I never could figure out what this damn thing was. And I was like, okay, this planner does this, but I don't even know what it was. And then I found this by accident and I went, oh, it's sugar cane. Okay. So you can plant sugar cane and it can be processed into sugar. So yeah, I'm like, damn. Okay, so that's kind of cool. So here's the shop icons that you'll see. Capacity, fruit types, you know, these are the different things you'll see in the menus when you're looking at vehicles. Slots, this is a console thing if you're playing on console, how many slots it takes. I don't play on console, I'm on PC, so I'm not real familiar with slots and all that other stuff. Some other things, seeds, diesel exhaust fluid, DEF, so if you've seen big semis with blue DEF, electric charge and methane are two soluble items from the biogas plants. So yeah, so these are yield boosters, your fertilizer icon, herbicide, silage add-on, digestate, which is a product of the biogas plant, slurry, cow or animal pee, manure, self-explanatory. All the different animal icons. So yeah, I wish I'd have known this because I played like 100 hours going, what the hell is that? And I was Googling and having to figure it out. But yeah. So yeah, so different menus, crop overviews, a lot of stuff in here that it's kind of handy to do. Moving animals. This is a mod where you can move animals from barn to barn. So like, we'll just start with the chicken coop because that's one of the things I'm going to put in. You start out with a small chicken coop, it's 20 chickens. You made some money, you want to make a bigger chicken coop. So what do? Well, you find a good spot that will take that bigger chicken coop. you place it. You go to your old one and you use the move. There's be a little like a paw print, and you go to that, and you can move your animals from one building to another, or one pasture, or one pen to another. So it's a very handy mod. I do suggest you go out and get that. Wood harvester. Um, they've got it's a mod that basically it's a big log splitter. Um, Advanced Farm Manager is pretty handy. This is where you can look at your different vehicles. Course Play is another mod. This is the one where you can generate your AI courses. So in other words, it will tell the AI worker what the best route is, and you can tell it go around the field twice and then go up and down the field, or go back and forth, or however you want to do it. Here's that custom fields that I was talking about. Um, so yeah, kind of a handy little thing. I didn't think much about it when I first saw it, but yeah, and the precision modding. Um, so what precision modding mod has done is added in soil types, and so based on the soil type, kind of depends on the yield of the crop you get. Soil sampling, it also added a manual soil sample if you don't want to pay the 10 grand per field to have them do it. And if you use the manual one, you have to go 3 or 4 or 5 different places to get a good reading on what that field's value is. But it tells you the pH value. I'm kind of glad I saw this because now I don't have to show it to you when we go in and look, but we might do it anyway. But it's got different target values for the different types of soil. So this is liming, putting lime on the field, lime spreader, and you can see there's a little demonstration of what that looks like. And then nitrogen, this is can be slurry or manure, and like I said, you got to have pardon the pun, a crap ton of slurry or manure to really raise this any significance. So usually I go with minerals dry fertilizer. I usually go liquid fertilizer because then I can get a big crop sprayer and really knock that out. And yield map, so this kind of tells you what your yield is going to be. Variable seed rate, spot spraying when you set up the sprayer. This is a John Deere sprayer with, I think it's in meters, but I think this boom is like 160 feet, maybe in feet. So a spot sprayer will only spray where it finds you haven't sprayed. Any place you've already sprayed, it won't spray it again, so you don't waste fertilizer. Cron sensor for the so yeah. And then RTK stations are good little things to buy. There's a few of them in there, and you place them on your farm, and it helps your AI workers be more accurate. Sometimes they want to drive over here, and it's like, no, I don't want you in that field. I want your ass back over here, dumbass. So whatever. All right, so that was a weird little side what do I call it? Diversion from where we were going with all this. All right, so starting position, like I talked about. In my other video, I talked about different other starting positions. Field 34, the little farm up here in the upper right, and this is where I'm currently farming, down here in the lower left. Where we're going to go up here and start a new farm up here in the upper left with these fields. And we're going to work out of here for most of our new videos. Maybe we jump to some other places, but there's another little starting place here. And you can see that in my other video. Another one down here in the lower right. So yeah, we'll talk about that. So I'm back in my truck. Not in my truck, out of my truck, in my truck, out of my truck. So, if you're going to do field 34, and you can see it's spring, so you can see there is a driveway back over here. Whoa, driving with the keyboard sucks. And like I said, you see a lot of people, they come in here and they build their farm here. We're going to go in the upper right. Now, I'm not going to drive it because it's a pain, and It takes too long in the video. So what we're going to do is we're going to teleport it. Now I talked about the dev control mod and some of the things it can do. In my last video, I just teleported myself. What I didn't tell you in the last video is you also, whatever vehicle you're in, will go with you. Now, the danger of that is you got to make sure you land somewhere where there isn't a building or anything else. So usually what I do is I pick a road close to where I want to go and pick the direction I want to go. And it puts me kind of wherever. So where I teleported was... Shut the engine off. Where I teleported was right here at the entrance to the farm. A note when you're using this dev control thing, if you've got a load of product, it won't let you cheat in terms of, like, just for giggles, I took a load of strawberries on a trailer after I spent an hour and a half stacking them all up, 3 high, 53 feet long, and I teleported to farmer's market, or to the restaurant, and I got there, and my trailer was empty. So anything you have as cargo goes into Never Never Land. The one thing I did find was if I have a toolbox strapped down, that does stay, but any products, they just simply disappear. Alright, so we're going to drive up here. I'm sorry, man, I'm coughing. I'm not going to go to the driveway, we'll just drive up the hill. Alright. So we're going to buy this little farm. Shut my engine off. Now, alright, so I've got mouse movement. I'm moving my mouse, I'm looking around. If I right click, it halts that, and I can take the mouse and I can click on whatever I want to click on. So when I started 1.5 million. Now I bought my truck, so it's reduced it. So as you notice, if we buy a house, this will decrease. Now since this is a tutorial, I'm not going to worry about how much money we got. If we need more money, I'll just add it. Add it using our dev control menu where you can just add money. So like, you know, if I was going to add 100,000, it would put 100,000 in my bank account. Alright. So we're going to buy this place. So to buy, if you haven't learned this already, scroll up here. We're going to click as long as we're in map overview, and I'm going to buy it. Boom. And I'm going to buy it for 577,000, basically 578,000. Boom. There it is. Alright. We now own this place. But, as I mentioned in my last video, these are non-interactive houses. They're basically just decorations. Same way with the barns and everything. So, we're going to go into the construction menu. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I'm going to click on this thing. And you notice when I click on this, you probably can't see it, but highlight it. They all highlight. So when I click on this and I hit sell, I don't get anything for it because it's a decoration. But yeah, I'm going to sell it for $0. Now I have blank spot. Now, I want to say this because we are in the corner. I got 2 borders here. You can see them. The kind of blurry areas right here. If you build too close to a border, it will cause effects. So like on my other map, I was cutting down a tree, which I thought was right here in the border. I cut it down, and the tree was like hanging in the air, like 20 feet high. And so I couldn't do anything with it. Alright. So we've got our spot. Now I'm going to go ahead and I want to go ahead and keep the same space for my house, but I want some extra space. Oh, looky here. There's some collectibles. Throughout the map, you find collectibles. So we'll collect that. I don't know what you get if you get it other than bragging rights. Plays that little banjo music. So one of the things I talked about in a previous video was the farm store delivery mod. So if I hit Alt Shift S, my purchases from the store will be delivered here, and there is a fee, so it's not free. But I'm going to go in here and buy a chainsaw. As I said before, I really don't have a particular choice. There's a long reach one. I just buy this basic one. It does what I need. Now some things don't show up. Chainsaw shows automatically up. There's a deer. You can see it right there. Oh, there's another one. They're always in the woods. You can see there's 3 deer. So yeah, chainsaws and some of the hand tools will actually show up in your personal inventory, for lack of a better term. You just hit your mouse wheel and they come up. So one of the things I like to do when I'm cleaning up trees is I go in and do some landscaping. So I go into construction, landscaping. I like to paint grass because then I can actually see what I'm looking at. So I paint the grass, especially if it's heavily bushes, like these little bushes here. You know, I want to get rid of that tree later. Might keep that. You know, that'll go away. So yeah, makes it easier to see. Now I'm going to leave that tree. But I think I'm going to take this tree down here. Those trees are awful close to the border. But I want to take this tree down. Saw this bad boy down. Now this tree is going to make me some money. It's going to make me some money. Maybe about 1,200 bucks. So you chop these up in manageable pieces to get rid of these side branches. You just kind of click on the branch itself. Make sure it's white, not green. If it's green, it will actually chop the wood. And sometimes you just gotta kind of find the end that will allow you to cut. All right, so now I got my chop him in another piece. So I can actually just pick these guys up and haul them somewhere. For now, we'll throw them down here so they're out of the way. Because I do want to sell this. I do want to sell these. So they're kind of just toss it over the hill. They are money. Same way with the. I probably won't do it, but if I was playing on my game, I would get my tractor. I would come scoop up these wood chips and dump them in a truck. And once I get a truckload, that's about $3,000 there, a truckload of wood chips. So, good way to make some starting money. It's another good way to make some money when, like in the wintertime, when you're. Now, see where my cursor is red? Kind of see it change red to green. There's green. Hit that, it deletes it. So I'm just going to chop these branches off. Rotate with my mouse, chop that guy off. Alright, so I can chop those up. Now, the hand is red, which means I can't lift this. It's too damn big. So I'm going to chop this branch off. So if I hit my Alt, I can use my super strength. Yeah, it's a cheat. But sometimes you just don't want to get the tractor and the forklift out to haul this crap out of the way. For my stump, I can grind this with my chainsaw and it will grind that stump away. There are forestry tools that you can use. So I kind of cut these in a bend. Cut these into manageable sizes. Get rid of these kind of offshoot wrenches. Now it's struggling. Now it wants to delete that because it's wanting to delete. See, I don't want it to delete, so we won't do that. Oh, it did. Damn it. Alright, that's alright. So if I click on this, I delete that. Get rid of these side branches. Now I've got, whoop. Come on, pick it up. I got a side branch on there I don't want. So, yeah, we're going to throw this down there. Extra money later. We might need it after we buy some of our equipment. So I'm not planning on adding any money when I'm showing you guys how to get started here. So what we got is what we got. Too big for me to handle. Super strength it. It's got a top. I want to top this tree off. Alright, got rid of that. Also makes it a hell of a lot easier when you put it on a trailer. Now there are logging trailers and forestry tools. Oh, there's still a whole bunch more, but that's alright. We'll just throw it down here for now. That you can buy. So if you don't want to like use a chainsaw and spend all the time chopping this down and go sell it, there is a neat little tool you can buy. If you go in here to tools and you go into forestry equipment, there's a skid loader version, Tree Be Gone by Mantrid. Fits on the end of a skid loader. It will basically delete the tree. It chops it up. It does leave sawdust behind, wood chips behind, but it will, like, the tree and everything with it will be gone. There's a Devour Trees. I didn't like this one because it's got the damn long scoop. So I went to the big Tree Be Gone. And this fits on a front of the tractor with a 3-point and a PTO. And if you watched my previous video when I talked about the John Deere 6R medium tractor, which is usually what I use, we'll go ahead and get one of these guys because we're going to need it later anyway. It was going to be one of my purchases. The extra large, 6X extra large, 6R series extra large. I boost the engine to 301 horses. I leave kind of the tires the same. I put on tire sound. I put them up maybe 50, 60. Wheel weights, I add heavy wheel weights. Leave the warning signs and beacons alone. GPS receiver I put on in case I wanted to use the GPS. There's a mod that this is for. I put in a panoramic roof that I can open up. Stickers I leave on. I don't put a hood ornament on, but here's that 3-point. So right now you can see it's got a 3-point attachment. If I go 3-point with front PTO, it puts that PTO on there, and then I can use that Tree Be Gone. I do put a loader attachment on here. Interactive controls. This vehicle's got interactive controls, and I throw GPS on. So we're gonna buy this. Now this is a hefty price. Like I said, we're gonna run out of money, but I'm gonna show you how to make some passive money to get going. So we're gonna buy this. All right. So now I'm gonna go back, and I've talked about this before, but once it's highlighted, I can go combinations, and I got that front loader attachment. Here is the front loader that will fit on that vehicle. So I'm gonna buy that. There are no customizations for this. It is what it is. I'm gonna buy that, 15 grand. Then the other thing I gotta go back and do, and I always do that, I'm gonna go back here to tools, and I'm gonna go find, and I have a mod store mod that sorts everything by alphabetically. It's kind of handy because then you know where stuff's at. So front loader tools, a lot of different tools in here, from spikes to bale picker uppers to silage. These are root beet grinders, or grinders for different crops. But what you're looking for is the universal. I get this. It's just plain easy, and it works with every vehicle I've ever used. Is the universal bucket. Now there's two of them, the same price. Tension belt support. If you got something stacked in your bale, and some hay bales or something, and you don't want them to fall out, you can get the tension belt support one, and you can lock those things down. They won't fall off the bucket. We'll go ahead and you can get that one since they're the same price. Doesn't matter. You can take the design off or whatever. I just leave it on there, but I buy it. Now, if I get a front loader, I change the color. The front loader ones, you can change the colors on the buckets. I change the bucket so that I know which bucket goes to my front loader and which one goes to my tractor, because they are not the same. Wheel loaders and telehandlers loaders, the buckets are different. Did I buy this? I think I bought it. So go over here. Here's my tractor. Stacks everything up. Yeah, I did buy that bucket. All right, so it's easier if you inside the cab. And I'm on a hill, so this is going to be a pain in the butt. I should have put I just ran over my bucket. All right. I'm going to drive this down here. I'm going to cheat a little bit. Now I've got my engine mod on. Now here's the interactive control that I was talking about. Not every vehicle has them, but I'm going to cheat a little bit here. I'm going to go alt, grab it. Well, maybe. There we go. Bring this down here to flat ground. Now it's upside down. Flip that near, land right. There we go. Alright. Put the right key here. I'm gonna cheat. Grab this dude. Yeah, this is cheating, but hey. Sometimes some of these guys just don't fit like they're supposed to. Shut this off so you can hear. Sometimes they just don't fit like they're supposed to because of the terrain. Maybe the truck is higher than the bed or whatever. You can use your super strength and you can lift that up. Now, there are two really good sprayers, and one of them is a pain in the ass because, like I said, you'll find those under crop protection. I used to use the John Deere sprayer. It goes fast. The boom that comes with that is a 120-foot boom. I like the John Deere one, but for some reason, damn it, I went too far. This Case Trident, excuse me, it's got a little more horsepower, and there's a Rubicon that's all-in-one. I haven't played with this yet. I haven't messed with it. It was installed as part of a mod, and I don't know what mod it was. I'll have to go back and do some experimentation, but yeah, it holds 9,000 liters of fertilizer, herbicide, whatever. But it's got a 15.7, or excuse me, 48.5 meter width. So I don't know what 48 times 3 is, however many feet that is. This one, you know, is 120 feet. It's a little bit shorter. And did it again. But I like to buy this one and this Trident liquid system that comes with it. Now, for whatever reason, when they designed this, it's got short feet. And I have not figured out how to get this thing attached to the sprayer. If anybody knows, comment so I figure it out so I learn how to do it. But usually what I wind up doing is go around to the back and using my super strength to lift it up on the back enough, jockey it around and lift it up where I can attach automatically. Pain in the butt, but I just like that sprayer better for whatever reason. Alright, so we're actually going to leave these down here. Let me do this. Let me move my buy pointy here. We're going to go get that tree begun so I can show you what that thing does. Forestry tools, forestry equipment. Tree begun. No, I don't like the beacon. I don't use beacons. People, you know, it's 42 grand, so it's a hefty price. But let me show you, it is worth it. Okay, we're lined up. Shut this. Cut the noise down. So with any attachment, you just drive up, and if it works for that vehicle, it will show down here at the bottom. You hit the Q button and it attaches. Alright, V key upper raises and lowers unless you have a joystick. V key starts it, shuts it off. Just like that. So what I use this for is when I got these stupid bushes. So we'll just cover these out. We'll start this up. You can see I just drive and it will delete them. It will delete these logs. See the logs disappearing. And it just, they're gone. They're just gone. Yeah. Logs are, once you cut the logs, it's a little harder. Took that tree out, and it is tree be gone for sure, boy. I tell you what, it is very handy. Stumps, may not be able to get this stump because it's so small, but we'll see. I think it did. Yep. Alright, so like this big tree here, watch this. Dry right up to it. Just grinds it. Back up a little bit. Alright, so that's the tree be gone. Very handy. If you're going to, you need to clear some, maybe you want to add another, 30, 40 feet around the side of your field because there's a lot of grass space. You got trees on it, you can clear those trees off. Now, I use that a lot when I don't need the money. Otherwise, I use the chainsaw and cut it up into cut them up into logs. Alright, loader's attached. I have to use my mouse to raise and lower back and forth to do that. Alright, so we're going to shut this off for now. Just leave it parked where it's at. The logs I cut. Alright, so I've got a space cleared off. Now, I can do this. I can do two things. I can go into my construction menu. Go into the farmhouses. And I can find a farmhouse that fits the old space. Now, this farmhouse is non-interactive, so you can see the front door has a interaction to sleep. And the back door is the wardrobe. Okay. As I said in my last video, there's a house I really like that is an interactive house. And these are all houses that you can buy and sleep in. The ranch house is a neat little house. This is an interactive house. You can see that in the window there's an interaction that's in the bathroom. But that is not the one I like. The one I like is this ranch. Okay, that's the other ranch. It's the Elk Mountain house by Elk Mountain Modding. So I've cleared my space off. I am going to put the house over here. Now the problem I'm going to have if I plop it down as is you can see on the, I can't do it while I've got the mouse here, but in the upper right over here towards the garage, it's on the ground. But if you look at my front porch in the lower left, it's not touching the ground. So if I plop this, I will have a gap. So I have to prep my space. So I'm going to go level. I'm going to use the M key to make my leveling tool big, and I'm going to start where it's flat, and I'm going to work my way over and create a level ground that is level over here. Now I always leave myself or a vehicle close by for reference so I can see how big of space I'm actually doing. But this should be enough to cover it. And you know what, I'm going as far back towards the border as I can, just so I can have a backyard. You can see it squares that up, so that's all squared up. Alright, so now I can go in here to buildings, farmhouses, scroll over here to this bad, really nice house. Where's that one? Now everything's touching. So when I put this down, I will not have any problems with gaps along my house. My front porch is flush. Everything is flush. If I'd have done it the other way, I would have had an issue. Now, I didn't put this house far enough forward, so I don't have really much of a backyard. But that's okay. It comes with a decorative hydrant. Hydrant doesn't really work. If I really wanted a hydrant, I could go into the construction menu, and I can go into tools. Is it tools? Containers. Might be containers. Oh, yeah, containers. So there's a water hydrant. And I can just, where's the old one at? Oh, it's over here. So I can just turn it so the water's that way. And just put it next to it. So now I've got a working water hydrant. I can pull anything up to that small water tank and fill that. Not going to do me much good there because I can't back any vehicles up to it. But it's a water hydrant. Alright. So when I talked about this being interactive, now that we'll just drive our truck over here to it because I'm going to put a garage over here. I'm going to start the engine. You can't drive without starting. This parking it here gets it out of the way too. Now, if I was to pull in, the door shuts automatic. So these are automatic doors. If that door would have been closed, and then my mirrors rotated out, that's why I like this truck, because the rear view mirror doesn't work very well, but you can see out the sides of the mirror. Alright, but I always park it halfway, that leaves the door open. Park another vehicle in here. Interactive house. Okay, it's got rooms. You really can't interact with anything in here. It's just decoration for looks, but it's office, laundry room, kitchen. As I said in my other video, none of this works. Back porch, doors work. Front door, we'll go out there when we go back out. But main bathroom. This is where the wardrobe icon is. You can see I can open the wardrobe by hitting the R key, and I can change. I don't like. Let's get rid of the cowboy hat. And we'll put a Dodge hat on. Confirm it. Now I got a Dodge hat on. Spare bedroom just for looks, and then the master bedroom with the sleep icon. So now you can see it's different. This is a sleep one. The other one is a wardrobe. It uses the same icon. Some houses have different icons. Elk Mountain uses the same icon for both, so not a big deal. And I'm hung in the door. Sometimes you get a collision. Alright, so I'm satisfied with this. I don't mind not having a backyard because I'm a farmer. I don't have time for big parties and shit. Alright, now you noticed, since I squared this all up, I had a huge dip in my front yard. And I've got a driveway over there, which is fine. We're going to throw some gravel down here. Painting, grab, save, auto save. I'm going to make this big, not huge because that's how big it could be. I'm going to go a little smaller, but throw some gravel down on my driveway. Over here, there's my driveway. Alright, we'll throw some grass in this one because we're not using that in the driveway. And all this is tall grass. I could get a lawnmower and mow that. And even doing this, the grass will grow back. But I'm being lazy right now because I don't want to have to screw with the lawnmower. Alright, so I don't have much of, it's a huge steep thing. So let's go ahead and landscape this real quick. And this is all part of setting up your farm how you want it. But I'm going to get the smooth, the soften. And I want to soften this hillside. I'll make it a little bitter. And I'm just going to turn it into a nice little slope. Okay? Nice little slope. So it's a nice slopey front yard. Nothing big. Now, it did decrease the gap. I don't think there's a gap there yet. If I go too far, it will leave a gap under that concrete. So you got to kind of be careful with that. We'll slope the side over here. Now I'm too close to the border, so I can't get in there, so I got to zoom out. We'll soften this hillside out, so it doesn't look like I'm building a castle or some crap. Alright, and then what we'll do, we'll go to landscape and we'll paint. I'll use concrete, make it just a hair bigger. And we'll put us a sidewalk in. Unfortunately, there are not stairs built into this game for this type of stuff. But, hey, people can walk up the sidewalk. Alright, we're going to leave that for now, but I'm not going to sit here and try and make it pretty picture perfect. Alright, so we got our driveway. Now you notice, see that where the texture is a little different? That's in-game pavement. So they had paved this at one time for that house. Now, one of the things you got to be careful of is when you're working next to in-game roads and highways, is if you change the elevation, the roadbed will stay the same and it will leave a big gap. So like that road will, if I was to lower this terrain, there would be a big gap. And I'm in the menu, so I can't. There we go. it would leave a big gap. It's like you jump off, if you drive off of it, you literally like drop in a ditch type of thing. So then you got to use your landscaping tool and raise the terrain. It's a pain in the butt. So just be careful when you're working around in-game paved roads, because you can spend a lot of time trying to fix it. And see, I think we might even have, without actually going to look at it, I can't tell. No, we're good. Alright, so there's no gap. So that's good. So we got our driveway. We can put up a fence, pretty fence around here later, whatever. So we got our living space. We got, since I changed the, it's not letting me pick that up. Since I changed the elevation, this log got buried. And it's not, I'll have to bring the tree be gone and root that out. So basically it's half buried in the ground and won't let me pick up. Yeah, won't let me pick it up. So I'll bring the tree on later when I want to clean this up. I don't like these little scrub trees that they look ugly. I'll leave these flowers. If I get married, wife might like the flowers. Alright, so house. Now I got a place for a shed. And I'm going to take these trees out here with the tree be gone. So if you look up here, you can see your vehicle. So right now my front loader is highlighted. Now my tractor is highlighted. I can hit the Q key. Actually, I need the front loader highlighted. Not allowed in this state. Oh, I gotta lower it. Now it should let me detach it. There we go. I did not detach my bucket, so it's all one. So we'll get our tree be gone over here. Some of these tractors are fast. There's a neighbor walking on the walking trail. That's one bad thing about this property is it's got a walking trail. People walk through your farm. But hey, whatever. I've tried to run some of them over to see if it does anything, and the vehicle just goes through them. So whatever. Not a big deal. We'll drive up my front yard here. We'll get rid of these two logs while I'm sitting here. Scrub tree. Get rid of this big tree. And I think that's, get rid of this scrub tree over here too. Kind of a slopey side of a hill here. So, alright. Forested the area. Back up here. Whoa, 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 whoa! Stop! Wrong key. Alright. Shut the engine off. Now this piece of wood's not buried. I can pick it up. Throw it down here with the other ones. Alright, so I'm going to build me a shop. I like having a shop close to my house for whatever reason, but I got to find a small one because the space is kind of constrained. So there's several places. There's tools. There's a bunch of shops. It's weird how Giants did this because some things are in tools versus, you know, I mean, you got sheds in here that, okay, you know, I don't know why they're in here, but hey, they are. This is the shop I like working with the most. It's got one door, a little patio type of thing. I don't know if it's going to fit up here or not. And the answer is yes, it will. I'm going to have to do some adjusting, some landscaping. But Yes, it will fit. The problem I'm going to have is this slope. This is my driveway up into my house. So if I put that building there, it will cause some issues. So I'm not going to put anything here right now. I might put a smaller shed up here. I'm going to go ahead and level this off for now. Since it is kind of steep, I'm going to soften that a little bit so my driveway isn't so sharp. Alright. So it looks like I'm going to put a shed over here. So I'm going to flatten this space out. And I'm going to put that shed out here. I'll have to bring tree beacon over here and take that out. I'm not worried about getting to it from my driveway because it's going to be a garage, so I want to leave it like that. And you notice how I lowered the terrain and the trees are hanging in the air. If I was to exit the game, they would eventually, I think they will show back up on the ground. Alright, so we got this pretty leveled out here. We'll get tree begun again. Get rid of those trees. I might not be able to get rid of them because they're in the air. Oh, there it did. Tree beacon, it didn't take much to get rid of them. There it goes. Alright, good. Let's see if we can get this other one over here. Come on, tree. There it goes. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and take this out because I'm going to be building. Alright, we'll leave that nice big one there. Go ahead and take this scrub tree out. As well as this scrub tree here. Alright. And I did see a little tree over here. Let me get rid of him. And this scrub tree here. Alright. Okay. Let's put our cool shed that I like, which is some tools, the shop. Now I'm down to 342,000 here, so yeah, where'd it go? Well, damn it, Jim. Somewhere right in closer somewhere. Past these barns. Where are you? There you are. Alright, so this is much better. Okay, it's one entrance, such is why I'm not worried about everything, but I'm going to put him in there. Alright, so we can do a little landscaping here. We'll smooth that out. So I might even be able to drive up and down this if I wanted to. There we go. We'll smooth this corner out. See, we're just smoothing that hill out, make it a nice drivable slope. This we will leave alone because it will screw up the driveway. Alright. Go in here and paint it. Put some brand new gravel in. Leave a little grassy spot there just so we had some grass. New gravel. Alright. Hot diggity dog. Alright. Like I said, it's just a porch. Nothing interactive to it. But what it does have, some decent amount of storage space and a repair shop. So if I had a vehicle and I drove it over here, I could repair it like that toolbox I showed you. Alright, so a little farther than the house than I like, but it is what it is. Next thing I want to do is I want to put in my big barn that I like. Now these are personal choices here, folks. Personal choices. I'm going to need to move my tractor. So you can put in whatever you want. I'm putting in my favorites. Tractor's still running. Let's shut it off. Alright, so I'm going to put my barn. I don't want it to block that. So I want to be able to get in and out. If I put too close, I won't be able to get in and out of my shed. Now the barn I like is in sheds. Where are you? Lots of different. Oh, you know what? That's a nice little shed. How much is that? 25 grand? Yeah, why not? I'll put him up here. It's a nice little extra garage. I can park a small tractor up there if I want to. Yeah. Landscaping, paint. Grass in my driveway. Can I make that a little bit neater? Maybe this grass. Alright. Grass the hillside there. Okay. Hillside doesn't need gravel. Messy. Don't like messy. Now you notice I'm going right next to this paved road. When you do next to an in-game, it will not cover the in-game road. Okay. Make this a little bigger. So you can see it does not cover the in-game road. I covered up the walking trail, but too bad. My property. Down here, I don't want people to think I'm white trash or anything. Grass this hillside right here. All right. Whoop. There we go. A lot neater. Alright. So, where do I want to put my barn? I might have to take this tree out. We'll see. Let's find my barn and see what the footprint looks like. There's one. That's not what I'm looking for. Gotta find it. There's a crap ton of different buildings you can put in here. Getting closer. This is a neat little shed too. It's got a workshop in it. There's another one that doesn't have the repair shop in it. But I like the other one better. But I've used this one before too. It's got a door over here and 2 doors there. I might have passed it. This is a really nice shed. It is huge. It's got an airplane, like a hangar door there. And it is a big, big shed. And behind that awning is like a employee lounge. Kind of interesting little building. Where's my big barn? I'm already at the end. I passed it somewhere. Where's my barn? There it is. I like this barn for one reason. Now we will I'm gonna need to take that tree out. Alright, so tractor, tree be gone. Setting up your farm is it's a little bit of work. A little bit of work. Alright, tree's gone. A little bit of work. But once we get it set up, I can show you we can get started getting some passive incomes. We're down to 253,000. All we bought is a tractor. Construction. And yeah, you don't have to buy the sheds right away, but I do because I like having them. I like having them in place. So I'm gonna make sure I don't go over the road. And you know what? I don't know that this is going to work with this property. Just simply because it's a big barn. If I part here, I will have to take this small field. That's all right. We'll put it here. All right. All right, good. We got a nice little slope here. Drive through, and you notice it put it on a lower level. So I will have to fix that. I'll have to fix that a little bit with the level tool. And then I'll go back and smooth it. Smooth that out. And then I won't have that big dip. Now I don't have that big dip. Now the dip's right here, but that's okay. Alright, now I've got storage for my equipment, for some hay if I need it while I'm getting started. Another place to put stuff. And I can still get a big truck in and out of here if I need to. Big combine. Alright, we're down to 192,000. Let me show you some ways you can make some passive income. So since we've got this nice space up here that is unused, I am going to start with the beehives. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put my beehive back over here in my collection right there. That way I won't take up any space over there. So you go into construction. Beehives can be found into animals, bees. Now there are different beehives. There are a couple ways you can do. This is a simple little pickup point. Pallets will appear there when the beehives are full. But I like the little shed. It's just a place where the beehive pallets will spawn. We'll put him right there. All right. Now, you got a lot of different beehives. This is 33 hives, one-sided, for 19, or you can get 132 for 6 grand more. So I pay the extra 6 grand because it pays off. Now, I'm going to try and fit these guys in here and hope that I do not. You know what? I'm going to put the beehive over here because that's a little too big. So I'm just going to place it back here out of the way. Boom. And even though my spawn point is over here, they're attached. I could put this clear over on the other side of the farm and it would still recognize it. So there's my hives. You can hear the bees. You can see them. I got bees over on this side. You know, realistically, if this was real life, they would have all that area back there to go pollinate and get flowers. All right, so now that we've placed a production thing, let me show you the production menu here real quick. So I click on farmland, and you kind of just scroll down here. There's different things here. Here's my animals. I don't have any animals. Contracts, production. It just looks like a conveyor belt. I don't have any production chains. So apparently, I guess I didn't realize that beehives don't count as part of a production chain. So if I was to put a chicken coop in there, it'll show up when I put in my when we put in the greenhouse. All right, so I've got bees. They will generate honey, and they will show up in pallets here, and I can handle those pallets and take them to various places. Fast food. Since Johnson's, we'll go to the map. Johnson's is right. Where is Johnson's? I think it's right there. Let me see here. Yep. So there's Johnson's Farmer Market right there. I think they take honey. Let's see where. There's a place somewhere. Yeah. Okay. So honey. Yeah. Johnson's Farmer Market will buy honey. So you can take in, drop the pallets there. And what this is a price tool. Tells you who will buy your product. Cereal factories paying, you know, 1900 right now, and the price is going up. Goldcrest Valley, that's a off the map site, so you have to go to the train station. I've never fiddled with it. They're paying the most, but Johnson's Market's the closest. I'm not losing too much by going to sell to them, so I'll probably just go to them because they're really close. But as you can see in here, you know, different places. There's the biomass energy place. This is per liter. That was over down there by the lower left. You know, water. Nobody buys water, but people are selling it. I've got 2 places where I can fill up. Milk, the dairy, Johnson's Market again, the bakery down on Main Drag. Eggs, same thing. We put a chicken coop in. So up here being by Johnson's Market, hey, you know what? That's not a bad location for some of the stuff that we want to sell. Tomatoes. I hope they buy tomatoes. Johnson's Market buys tomatoes. Do they buy strawberries? Yes, they do. What about lettuce? They buy lettuce. So, what about if I get that other one, apples? Will they buy apples? Okay, apples. There are no sell points for apples, but you can sell apples automatically, and it's like, I don't know what you call it. It's in the distribution production menu, but you can set it to selling. I'll show you how to do that. But the apples will automatically sell, even though there's no sell point on the map. But what I'm looking for is peppers, because there is one of the greenhouses does peppers. Okay, so peppers I can't sell by peppers, onions. They're all Goldcrest Valley, but I can sell them automatically. So okay, so I can't spawn them and whatnot. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to use this little space back over here for our greenhouses. And there's a walking trail. Okay, I didn't put over the walking trail, so that won't screw up the people. We're going to go ahead and flatten this out over here. Make this big. I'm going to make this nice flat area for our greenhouse. Close to the border, so it's not cooperating very much. But we'll go ahead and alright, so I'll smooth this out so we don't have a big giant ledge there. Alright, so greenhouses. They don't take up a lot of space, but where you go to production greenhouses, and there you can go from a little small one, it's a small $2,000 one, but it requires manure. I forget what that is, I have to go look. And seeds. And you get strawberries, tomatoes, and lettuce. Same way with a multi-crop. All these different things produce different things. Here's a small greenhouse that only needs water. Okay? That's what we're looking for. We're looking for these small ones that only need water, or any coffee house. I forget what that is, but yeah. So I am looking for these larger ones. The hydroponic greenhouse larger. It does require fertilizer, but it produces these goods, and you can see it doesn't take up a big footprint. So we are going to put one of these in here, go over a little bit. You want to make sure that you don't block your spawn point. You can't put them back to back. There's also another one that does the, where's it at? There's a larger one. Wait, that's the same thing, isn't it? Okay, so this is one requires fertilizer. This is the one that doesn't require fertilizer. That's the one I wanted, actually, damn it. Sell that off. I want the one without. I don't want to have to put in fertilizer. I'm going to leave a space because I'm going to put my water well over there. I forgot about that, so I'm just going to put 3 of these guys in here. Can I get a 4th one in here? I can if I turn it, but I think I will be on the slope. Yeah. Alright, we'll just do the 3. This will get my point across. Alright, so now I've got my greenhouses. They need water. So where you gotta go is you gotta go back to buildings. Is it tools? Production. Production. So I'm going to need 2 things. I'm going to need a well. So you have a small well. Excuse me. The small well does 800 liters. It's probably big enough for 3 greenhouses, but I'm going to add greenhouses later on. So I'm going to go ahead and spend $8 grand for the big well. Now, you can't take water out of it. All it does is produce water. So I'm going to plate it back here in the back, out of the way. I'm going to leave the little manual activation icon there. All right. I'm going to put my water distribution. Now I am going to move him to the front more. And you notice there's the loading, which is that one that is now pointing directly down. Outloading and inloading. So I can actually, if I didn't have the well, I could load water and unload water, use this as a point to get water from. But because I got the well, I'll show you here in a second, it will automatically distribute. So since I'm not planning on sucking any water out of any of this, I'm going to put it back there. Alright, so now I've got my well and my water distributor. Alright, so this is what we're looking like. Now, I can do this manually. If I go in here, you can see in the upper left up here, manage production point. If I click that, it'll take me to the production menu, or the harder part is to go in here and go down here to production menu. So, let's do it the easy way. We'll go R. All right, now this is all your productions that you may have in the game. So here's our big well. I need to activate it so it will start producing water. Now, it takes a little bit, but you can see it's running. Doesn't, 96 cycles a month. I'd have to do the math. I'm not good at math, but it will produce water. Now, you see the tomatoes, lettuce, and strawberries. They're needing 1 water to produce 1 fruit. Right now, I've got everything storing, which is what I want. I don't want them to automatically sell, because if I automatically sell it, it's whatever the current price is. If I store it, I can keep an eye on the prices. Oops, that is my, where's it at? There we go. I can keep an eye on the prices, and as the prices go up, I can spawn some of the crates and take them and sell them. I don't know where all my strawberries are. Yeah, I think they're up here. There they are. So right now you can see when we looked before, prices were down everywhere except Johnson's Market. And oh look, the bowling restaurant now takes strawberries. That wasn't there before when we were looking, but now that we've placed them, it's taking them. Bakery is selling at a straight $4.68 a pallet, and the prices are going up. So if I sell those automatically, it's just going to sell to whoever. I haven't confirmed this, but what I believe, based on the prices I've been getting, it sells to whoever is providing the highest price. So it would probably sell them automatically to Johnson's Farmers Market. You don't have to do anything. They sell as soon as they produce. So what you get is a trickle of 480. As soon as it produces a pallet, it sells it. So, okay, 480 here, 480 there. So what? If you store them, if we go back to down to our production menu, if you store it, then you can sell it when the price is high, and you can sell a bunch of it. So what we got to do to get it to start working, we got to activate each one of these. Now, if I wanted to, and it says material missing because it doesn't have any water because we haven't run any time off. But if I wanted to say, maybe I just want to sell the strawberries. I change the output mode. Now it's spawning. It will appear outside the greenhouse in pallets, and I can manually take it somewhere and sell it, or I can sell it automatically. Now, like I said, the problem with this is it will sell them as it gets 1 pallet. It will sell that pallet. So we don't want that. So we're going to change that. And distributing is used if you bought like a fruit, like a bakery or some other production factory. It will distribute it to that factory. So I'll use oil for example. You can buy these oil wells, and you can set this to distributing to the refinery if you own the refinery, and it will automatically send the oil to the refinery and produce grease, diesel, paraffin, a couple other products. And then you can either use the diesel, not have to buy the diesel, or just sell it off. So we don't want any of that. So we want it to go ahead and stay as storing. Now, again, you have to do this, activate every one of these for them to produce anything. Alright, so now everything is running. We have to wait until, a few hours or whatever until it starts producing. So now you can see we got plants in there. So let's just do this. Let's go in here and let's run some time off. in our settings menu, wherever it may be. Is it that one? Yeah. So if we go into our settings menu, I talked about time scale earlier. If I set it to 360, all right, you can see we're running time off the clock. Pretty soon these are green up as water starts hitting each one of these greenhouses. And it takes a little while to do. But now we're at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And if we hit midnight, you'll notice that this will change to April. So now we've gone dark. Let me turn on my flashlight, hitting the F key. Nothing's happening, nothing's happening. Boy, it's dark. I need to put some lights. My house is lit up. Looks like I need to put a yard light or two out here. My barn's lit up, but let me go ahead and stick a yard light out here. Construction. Decoration, lights are under decoration. We'll just put a simple pole light out here by the driveway. Good. Put one right here. Let's go ahead and put one at the corner of the driveway. Put one at the entrance to our driveway. One up here by the barn. $175, so you can put lights. Now you can see we've got some light. Let me turn the flashlight off. It wants to turn it on automatically. But now you can see we got some light on our farm. That's fine. Alright, now you see we've got construction costs. Cost popped up there. And that will mean that we should have... Nope. Alright, so let's go into the production menu and see what's going on here. Maybe just not enough time's come off. It's still missing water. You know what I bet I didn't do? Yep, I'm storing the water. I did not change it to distributing. So, and I bet my well's the same way. Yep, that's our problem. So now I change our parent to distributing. So now my well will distribute to my water distributor, and my water distributor will distribute to my greenhouses. Right now I've got 22,000 in storage, and look at that. All of my greenhouses turned blue. So I am now producing, I just produced 28 tomatoes, 14 lettuce, and 56 strawberries on each one of these. Oh, it's 39, you know, so 94 strawberry, 98. You can see the numbers are jumping rapidly because we're back in daytime again. And you can see now the greenhouses have plants in them. They're all nice and green. They're growing. And because we're storing and not spawning, if they were spawned, they would appear here, and we could load them up on a truck and take them out to sell them, which is what we would do later. So, close the door. Come on, door. Shut the door. Alright, so let's go back and change our time setting back to real time. Wherever the hell it went. There we go. Alright, now we're back to 11:30 in the afternoon. Alright, so that is 2 ways, 3 if you count the logging, that you can generate passive income for your farm when you're getting started from scratch. We're down to 119,000 right now. Alright, so I don't even have hardly enough money to buy a disc or anything, much less harvest any crops. So I'll probably have to lease equipment to get started. But let's take a look at what we got on what we've made so far in here. Alright, so we're in April. So you can see we spent all this money in March getting set up. We had $2,400 in production costs. That's costs of producing our stuff. Delivery cost for what the hell production delivery costs. It's charging us to move the water, I guess. I don't know. But we haven't sold anything, so we don't have any sold. It shows up under production production income somewhere. Somewhere. I don't know. Here's contract income. It shows up as an income somewhere in here. Sold products. It will show up here as we sell it off. All right. So we've got some passive income building up. I think this video is probably getting pretty long. Yeah, I think this is probably a good place to stop. And we can talk about doing some contracts next time on the next video, and we can go through that and show some contracts on how to make some money. Contracts. All right, so we've got a bunch of contracts. Somebody needs some baling. This guy needs some spraying. Oh, there's a whole crap ton of spraying. I might have to borrow money and buy those sprayers because I can make, some of them aren't very much, but overall I can eventually pay off my sprayer, and I will need that sprayer anyway later on to do my own fields. Oh, but looky here. This guy wants $19,000 for 30,000 liters of strawberry, but we've only got like an hour to do it, so we're not going to have it. Wheat. So this is one of the reasons I store my grain, because I can make a lot more off it on a contract. I haven't done the exact numbers, but I think I can make more on some of these contracts by supplying it versus selling it at the grain elevator. I'd have to do the numbers and run the numbers, but I think maybe what we'll do is maybe we'll do some of these. We'll invest, borrow some money from the bank. Shit, that'll be about 500 grand. But maybe we'll borrow some money from the bank, or maybe I might just talk to my Uncle Bob and ask him for 500,000. You know what? Hey, Uncle Bob, can I have 500K? Sure, we're a farmer, Kansas farmer guy. We'll give you 500K. I'll invest in your farm. Oops, that's 5 million. I'm not sure if that'll be enough to buy the sprayer, but there you go. My Uncle Bob gave me 5 grand, and I'm going to move my sell point down here, or my delivery point down here. Let's go get that sprayer, and then we will call it a day, and we'll go do some of the contracts. So I like this sprayer here. I'm going to leave this kind of generally the same. Front LEDs, yeah, I'm going to leave it the same. I'm not going to change the design. I'm going to put fenders on it. I am going to add that, keep that display. I want the liquid display. I am going to turn this Icera Pro in here because that will help with my precision farming and seeing what is what. Now that's 320. Okay, so there's most of the money we got from Uncle Bob. Let me go back and we'll get our sprayer. See and spray, you want to turn this on because this will only spray when it detects stuff on here. God, that's 107,000. All right, so Uncle Bob, thank you for the loan. Now here's what I was talking about. You can't drive up underneath the damn thing and attach it. I don't know any other way of doing this. I'm sure there is a way, but this is what I do. I just grab it and I get it set up here pretty close. I jump in, start it up, and look at there. Now I can attach it. Alright, so we got our sprayer, money from Uncle Bob. And next time we will go do a spraying contract, and I'll show you how the contracts work. Alright guys, thanks a lot for listening. We appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you next time. If you like what you saw, you think it's funny or informational, hit that subscribe and like button. I appreciate you guys watching. Kansas Farmer Guy, we're out of here.